Hello family! Our movie begins with Michelle and her boyfriend, George. When Michelle receives a message from the office instructing her to come to the office, George says to her, "I can wait till you get here." But Michelle refuses since his daughter Dora is ready to return home after leaving the same George. We learn that Michelle dislikes George and has been divorced, so she is only there to pass the time with George. The following day, we find Michelle in the office, where we learn that she works for a corporate company whose owner is her father. However, his company's situation is nothing out of the ordinary because Michelle's company has been losing money for the last 2 years. As a result, 100% of the employees believe that the company should be sold. Then Michelle encourages everyone by saying that, while the company is still losing money, it can be made successful again with hard effort and a new deal. His father approves, and he gives Michelle an opportunity to show herself. When we arrive at Michelle's house that night, we meet Dora, Michelle's daughter, who, like the other teenagers, thinks herself brilliant. Michelle, on the other hand, is a touch protective of Dora. Michelle then takes Dora to a restaurant to eat dinner with her. Michelle's attention is drawn to a boy named Ryan who is eating dinner with his girlfriend. When Michelle notices this, she becomes uneasy and rushes home with Dora, but then she recalls that she had left her credit card at the restaurant, so she returns to the same restaurant to retrieve his card. This time, Ryan notices Michelle and approaches her, offering her a drink. Michelle first refuses to drink with him but eventually accepts. The two then sit together and drink and speak while drinking. Ryan was flirting with Michelle a lot, and he was attempting to get closer to her. Michelle first enjoys all of this, but she subsequently stops Ryan since everyone was watching her more when she was leaving. Ryan writes his number on the paper, but when Michelle gets home, she throws it in the trash. After that, the next day, when Michelle was getting ready to leave for work, she took the paper from the rubbish once more. Michelle was about to call Ryan when she decided against it. As a result, Michelle doesn't call. Next, we see Michelle making a presentation in the office, saying that rather than preserving the company, we can make it profitable by combining with another large corporation. This is also a great suggestion for Michelle's father and Michelle. Allow him a few days to conduct his research. Michelle was going to call Ryan again to come home when the doorbell rang. When Michelle opened the door, George was standing outside, having come here to propose. But Michelle, as we all know, Michelle was only there to pass the time, so she rejects, telling George that she is responsible for her business and her daughter, and she is not ready to make this decision right now. When George hears this, he agrees and then departs. Michelle calls Ryan while working at the office the next day. However, Michelle's assistant arrives and informs her that she has got a phone call from the company's boss. Michelle goes to speak with him. After a while, Michelle receives a call from Ryan, who was calling to meet her. Michelle also agrees to meet with him. Michelle then goes to the location where Ryan had requested to meet her. There, they both converse for a long time, and we can tell that Michelle has begun to like Ryan as a result of this. Michelle also forgets that she has an important meeting today, so she rushes out the door on the same night. Michelle takes Ryan to her office, which is empty. Here, Michelle was becoming increasingly drawn to Ryan as a result of the way Ryan was treating her. Michelle then invites Ryan to accompany him to his father's office. After all of this, they both have an affair after going to work. Ryan takes Michelle to a bar, where Ryan begins to approach Michelle in front of the guard. Although Michelle was aware that the meeting's cancellation would result in a significant loss for her organization, nonetheless, she felt so desperate to see Ryan that she canceled the important meeting. Michelle then apologizes to her father for everything and promises that she would not be so careless in the future. The next day, George returns to Michelle's residence since he is very serious about Michelle. So, this time, she informs George that she is dating someone else. When George hears this, he feels terrible and departs, heartbroken. After all of this, Michelle departs for an investor meeting, passing Ryan on the way. Ryan presents Michelle with a unique sort of underpants that vibrated, and Ryan was holding his remote. Delivering Mitchell's father's speech during the meeting, Ryan turns on the remote, which causes Michelle to act abnormally, which her father also sees. Ryan then transports Michelle to the other side. Then they were kissing in the restroom while having a drink. As a result, Michelle's lipstick would have deteriorated slightly. While Michelle is restoring her health, Ryan prevents her from doing so and requests that she go in the same condition. But, surprise, Michelle agrees with him when he comes out. Michelle runs into Jesse, the boss of another company whose meeting Michelle had canceled. Jesse then questions Michelle about her plan. Michelle was telling him that Ryan would just switch on his remote once more. Michelle communicates with him in some way, but after witnessing his ruined lipstick, he realizes what is going on. As a result, he departs from there. Michelle becomes enraged with Ryan when he leaves and then departs. In addition, Michelle was returning home after picking up her daughter. Dora. Michelle discovers Dora is in a relationship with a boy. Michelle becomes enraged upon learning this since she believes Dora is too young for all of this. Dora realizes what Michelle has done during the party when she notices Michelle's terrible lipstick. So she inquires about Michelle, and Michelle is unable to respond to Dora because of what she did at the investors' party. Her father had a lot of anger the next day at work. However, it is here that we and Michelle discover Ryan is a drug dealer who has been imprisoned multiple times for car theft. Now, tired of it all, he has chosen to sell the company. Michelle, on the other hand, refuses to sell the company and begins informing her father about her proposal. However, because his preparation was only half-hearted, he is unable to effectively express his notion. Regardless, her father grants her another chance, and Michelle now works on her idea throughout the day and spends time with Ryan at her house at night. In the meantime, it is taking place. Michelle also inquires about Ryan's past, but he refuses to answer and asks her to leave. Next to this, Michelle returns the following day to meet Ryan at the same club where Ryan earlier brought her. He then meets Ryan's ex-girlfriend. Ryan's ex-girlfriend tells Michelle that Ryan is not the appropriate guy for her and that he can wreck her life. After hearing everything, Michelle returns home and discovers that her daughter is not having an affair with anyone other than Ryan. Seeing this, Michelle becomes enraged and yells at Ryan before driving her away. Dora was really nervous after the incident, so Michelle looked after her. Michelle had to explain her proposal to everyone in the office the next day, but her preparation was still incomplete. As a result of her failure to explain anything to anyone, her father requests that she set up a meeting to sell the company. Hearing this, Michelle speaks brutally to her father in front of everyone, causing her father to become enraged and dismiss him from work for a few days. Michelle was already upset as a result of this. In the companion, she receives a message from Ryan, prompting Michelle to go to Ryan's house, where they get into a fight. Michelle, on the other hand, skillfully punches Ryan and knocks him unconscious, then hangs Ryan in one location and begins torturing him with his belongings. But, in the end, Michelle informs him that if he does not abandon his daughter, she will not leave him the next time. Ryan realizes he has messed with the wrong girl, so he apologizes to Michelle right now as a result of the situation. Michelle gained confidence and began working on her proposal. So, when she presents her idea to the company the next day, everyone loves it. Michelle meets with Jesse and tells him about her plan to get him to invest in her company. Jesse says he'll come to her office the next day to sign the paperwork. Everyone was waiting for Jesse the next day after some people predicted that Jesse would not appear yet. Jesse appears with signs on the dial paper because everything was occurring because of Michelle. As a result, her father makes her an equal partner in the company. Following this, Jesse appears while Michelle is enjoying a drink with her secretary, and we saw Michelle seduce Jesse. This is how our movie ends. We hope to leave us a comment on how you found this movie, and see you in the next video. We hope that you enjoy your time and have a good day.